crafty friends, it's Jackie Ballhays from Compin Stampers. Today, we're playing with a Gathering Moments stamp set again. It has just been my favorite fall products. But I am bringing in these big dies, these big leaves. You know, I've had these for a while, wasn't quite sure what to do with them, but I came up with an idea, and I really I think I haven't actually put a whole card together. I have it in my head. So we're going to create as we go, and hopefully it works. But a card idea, and I want to show you what you can do with these big dies. So let's flip the camera down and let's get crafting. So today I have the Gathering Moments stamp set and the dies. Now you've seen me use the small dies for some of the images before, but we have these big ones. Okay, there's, I don't know if you call it, it's not really an oak leaf. I'm not sure what that leaf is, but I like this one the best, the maple leaf. And you have the big outline one, and then you have this little one that cuts out the holes in it. Now these don't coordinate with any stamps. They're kind of standalone dies. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out, I have a piece of the Designer Series paper, and I am going to cut out the shape, okay? But I'm also going to put this one that does all the little holes, and we're going to put them right together like that and run them through the cut and emboss machine at one time. Okay, now I usually don't do this on camera because my table just is not big enough, but I thought I'd try to fit it up here this time. So we're going to put it on there, keep them sandwiched together, okay, and get that, and then let's roll this. Hopefully we don't shake too much. And we'll bring that out, and let's see what we get here. So you can see it cut it out, and then it has all of these holes. Now I think the original intent of this was to do some stitching, but I struggled with that. So I had a different idea that I'm going to share with you. Then we're also going to use the outline one in a piece of Cajun Craze cardstock, and we're going to run that through with just the outline. We're not putting the little stitching holes in this. You'll see why when we get to that point, but I thought as long as we got the cut and emboss up here. So there we go. Look at that nice big leaf. So great leaf die for all kinds of projects. Okay, now let's bring these pieces back in. So here's the one with all the holes. You can see through it. And like I said, I think the intent was that you could use linen thread or even thread. You'd need a needle and do some stitching. But I thought, that's a lot of work. And I don't have a needle big enough for this. So we're going to take a Stampin' Blend, and we're going to just draw on these holes. I remember years ago, I used to have some piercing templates, and you actually put holes on your cardstock. A lot of times just layers, circles, squares. And then you did the same thing with a marker or a pen. So we're just drawing from hole to hole to hole. And see, as I move it, you can see how you can still see through there. It looks like stitching on the leaf, so it gives it kind of a cool look. We'll get all of them there. This is just my black Stampin' Blend. Now you could do this with different colors. And I also thought like a white gel pen would be super cool. I don't have one, but I think it would work really nice. Let's see, did we get them all? And then from here to here. Way easier than stitching with needle and thread, but it gives you that stitched look in there, which I think is pretty cool. Now, the reason I cut out the other one, this one right here, is I didn't like how big those holes were and that you could still see those holes. So I think if we layer it on here and we can glue them and just match them up exactly, now you still see that there's holes there. You still see the stitching, but I like it better. And it's a little bit more solid as well for what I want to do here. Oops, that's a lot there. So let's just go around where all the holes are with some adhesive. And then we're going to stick this on here, line it up perfectly with that. Or close to perfect. And there is our leaf. And so what I'm doing for this card, we're just building a focal layer on our leaf. So our next step, we're going to go ahead, take our early espresso, and I'm going to stamp Many Thanks on just a scrap piece here, basic beige. And then we're going to take our scissors and fussy cut this. Now, when I fussy cut words, I like to have it not very wide, okay, be pretty close. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and go around. And the thing is, you don't have to follow those outlines of those letters exactly. Just kind of go around them. The easiest part is when you get to these where they're all about the same. I just go bloop, bloop, bloop. Is that a word? And but it really does, when you're done, it appears like you were very careful and, did all the detail around every letter. So we'll just come down here. And then if this starts getting too long, just cut it off because it gets a little bit hard to move your scissors. Now notice my right hand isn't really moving. All the work's in my left hand. I'm just turning it. We'll go around the M there and come down. And there we go. Many thanks. So let's bring this back in. And then I'm going to take a piece of this, well, I guess that one's cut, Early Espresso linen thread, which I absolutely love. And we're going to tie a big bow. And we want it pretty big here. Let's see. About like so. Because what we're going to do, we're going to stick that under and then put our words on top. So let's grab a glue dot to hold it down. Let's take one of these. I think that's big enough. And let's just go about right there, like so. And then many thanks, we're going to pop up on dimensionals over that. So I think we probably need the mini ones. With mini dimensionals, I always like to use my take your pick tool because it's easy. Yep, that was stuck to my hand. But it's easier to pick them off of that sheet because they're so little. And it's easier to get the backings off because you can just kind of, that one's coming off. Come on. And then you can just kind of like poke at them and get them off. There we go. And let's see, we're going to stick that. Let's see, I want my leave at kind of an angle and this kind of, I don't know, don't overthink it. There we go. And then that is going to be the focal layer to a fun fold card. So when I set out to design this card, like I said, I haven't completed it. It's still in my head. I cut some cardstock and designer series paper, and I'm using a fun fold out of my fun fold template book. And I flipped through and I'm like, what would be a great fun fold to have a focal layer about that size? And I found this one. So we're going to follow our measurements on here. Now the fun fold book, you can find that over on my website. There's a link in the video description and it's in the blog post. That blog post will give you all the details on this card as well. And I'll share all the measurements that I'm sharing with you to make the card. So 8.5 by 5.5, and then we are going to score it at 1 1/4. Okay, this is a really easy fun fold, especially if you want to kind of show off a few different prints of your designer series paper. So 1 1/4 and then 4 1/4. So let's do that like so. We'll set that aside, and then we're going to use our bone folder. So it's going to happen the front, that part folds back, and then this is going to fold closed like so. Okay, so that is all there is to our fun fold. So then I have designer series paper. Now this is all from the same pack, which for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it, that is part of the suite with these products, and that I die cut that leaf out of. So I cut some pieces. We're going to put a piece here in the front. Now again, I'll have all the measurements for these over on the blog post, so you can just hop over there and grab them. And then I love this plaid. Okay, the plaid with that leaf design goes so good. And it's so nice and fall-y looking. Okay, so that's there. And then our card's going to open like so. And we're going to make the inside pretty as well by adding some of that same designer series paper. Let's put that piece in the middle. And then let's see, I think we have a piece of basic white here. So this one we're going to stamp another sentiment from the stamp set. I think, oh yeah, it just barely fits on there. Okay, your friendship means the world to me. And we're going to stick that in the middle here, or on the inside over to that side. Like so. And then we'll take another piece of the plaid and put it out here. Like so. Well, this one should be moved over a little bit. Oops, let's just That's why I like liquid adhesive, because I have a little bit of time that I can pick it up and move it. Boy, I'm not lining things up now. See, now it won't slide because it's sticky. There, we're gonna call it good. Okay, so this is how our card folds up, and then it will open like so. So room to write my message there. And then you're gonna take your focal layer and we're going to stick it right there. And I wanna pop that up with dimensionals. Now the key here, because I only want my dimensionals to be attached to this front little flap. So I'm gonna kind of hold it. I wanna stay inside this, okay, so it fits in an envelope. And then I am going to just look and go, okay, we can put one right there. Notice how I'm just trying to figure out where can I put my dimensionals that will hold this down good. And that should be enough. And not, obviously, not come off this panel, okay? Does that make sense? I feel like I'm talking in circles. Okay, stick that on there. Make sure it's over those dimensionals. It's not hanging off the left. It's not hanging off the right. And there we go. Many thanks. And then when you open it up, it stays. So you see it on both directions. So there is our quick and easy fun fold that I use following one of the templates in the fun fold book. So again, I'll have the measurements and all the products I use for this if you would like to make this card, or if you'd like to order any of those supplies. I greatly appreciate it when you select me to order from, and we'll have all the details over on that blog post. So just check the link in the video description to get over there. So if you have any questions or I can help you in any way, as always, just drop a comment and we will get back to you. And make sure you've subscribed and that you like the video. We appreciate that as well. So thanks for watching, my friends, and we'll be stamping again real soon. Have a stamp happy day.